What's up, guys? Woo! We're not doing plants, we're not doing flowers, we're not doing anything that is actually on this earth whatsoever. What could it be? We're doing some space. So I thought it'd be fun to try something different. I've only done like a space scene maybe 2 times in my life, but it's pretty fun, kind of like easy to do. So join in with me, grab your watercolor paper, and you need to make a circle. So I'm just tracing this tape. I taped down my watercolor paper just so it doesn't move on me. This is going to be a card again. I always just like doing cards because why not? All right, so we're starting with a circle. Might be a little to the right. No, it's probably about center. Okay, so we have our circle and let's get right to this. So I'm going to start with some yellow in the middle. So it's like galaxy, some yellow. Oh, sorry. Back it up, reverse. We're going to start by wetting the whole circle. Okay, so I'm going to wet the whole circle. We're doing wet on wet method. So wet the whole thing. And the paint will not like flow anywhere you don't have it wet. So like it won't flow off this circle because I'm not wetting past the circle. So like the paint will like, move around, but it won't go past where you didn't wet, which is really cool. This will dry, so you kind of got to move quick or just re-wet it. Okay, now I'm going to get right into my yellow. I'm going to start with, see how like, because it's wet on wet, it's kind of like moves it and like does this whole like, I don't know, the water just pulls it almost like a tie-dye kind of look. All right, now I'm going to pull in a little green on the outside. Space. So how's everyone doing today? Yeah, good. Me too. It's Easter today. I snuck away to the studio while the kids nap. So I love being here, having a little time to myself. All right, so I'm just moving the green around. Like there's no rhyme or reason here. I'm just kind of moving, shaking. All right, let's get into some blue. A darker kind of blue. I'm gonna bring that kind of, wow, so fun. I love watching the colors just move and do the thing. Sometimes you can just stop and watch it. It's so meditative. I find like if I don't make time for painting or drawing in a day, like I just don't feel happy or content. Does that sound sad? I shouldn't say happy, but I feel like something's missing. Okay, so I'm kind of pulling in because like think galaxy, think like there's me, my bad memory, like the way space is. There's like these like kind of, this is like one of those. I should have Googled space lingo because I'm really stumped right now. But you know what I'm talking about. There's like this blast of light. See how this kind of like bleeding? Looks so cool. Okay, let's go a little darker now. I'm going to go to like a really dark blue, almost blacky blue. And we're going to go right to the edge. This card's going to be pretty and like, it could be a birthday card. You can say like, you have a stellar birthday or like something cheesy like that. And everybody likes space. It's just so cool, space, when you think about it. When you like start thinking about space, it's just like crazy when you like start thinking about it. It's like, what? We're just like this tiny little schleck. So sometimes when things seem like, crazy, it's like, it's just small stuff. We're just tiny. Okay, pull that paint in. Now you can play around with your blues, right? Play around with them a little. You go darker, you go a little lighter. Good. Now you'll get to a point where this is gonna you need to let it dry. So I'm gonna like pause the video. I just realized I had a pause on here. Raya told me, you have pause, Mom. And I was like, oh, sweet. I didn't even know. So I'm probably gonna pause this right now and let this dry. Because I kind of wanna add, like if it's too wet the whole time, it will just keep soaking in your color. So a few more things here. And then I'm gonna pause this. You guys, you know, take a little break, go make a tea, or start another picture. I like piggyback pictures. I don't know, combo up pictures all the time where I'm like working on one and I put one aside and go back to this one. All right, this is looking good. So I'm gonna let it dry. I got this little blow dryer over here, so I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna like have you watch and listen because it's super loud. So I'm gonna pause this, use your blow dryer, or just let yours dry for a few minutes and then come on back. All right, pause. And we're back. Okay, so this thing's dry. Yours is too. So to recap, we just kind of like moved some yellow paint around, moved a little green around, kind of, you know, wet on wet action. Now it's dry and we're going to go with some black because I want to like make this darker. But if I just added the black to that like wet paper and paint, it would just keep soaking in and it wouldn't get as dark as I want to. So I'm going wet on dry now. This area is dry because I blow dried it, and see how it's not like bleeding and I'm not losing that darkness. And then we're gonna go with some black. The video I put up yesterday, I realized like the music was like so loud. I'm like, Danielle, like they can't even hear you talking. So like, I apologize. I'm like new to the artsy videos, not new to video making, but I don't know what I was thinking when I was editing it. And I had to edit it because it was 20 something minutes long. And I just learned that you can only post on IGTV up to 50 minutes. Unless you're a verified account, but this girl ain't verified yet. One day. So I can only post 15. So that's why I like fast forward a bunch of stuff and put some music because I didn't want like the fast forward parts to be like quiet and weird. Anyways, didn't like it, but it's up. Okay, so as I'm doing here, I'm just kind of like going in with this dark. I don't want it to be a straight line, right? So I'm going to kind of like bring it in a little. Maybe this part kind of goes in a little deeper. Like that. You don't want straight lines. There's no straight lines out there. That. Keep going with that black. So you always have 2 jars of paint next to you, or sorry, water next to you when you do watercolors. So one is to dip your dirty brush in, so it's called the dirty water, and then the other one's just like a clean, because like when you go from black to white or like a dark color to light, your water's going to get really dirty. So you have like this like dark dirty water, and then you hit that light clean water, and then you have your napkin. I started with a fresh napkin yesterday in yesterday's video, and now I'm going to see how long I can use this one. I like kind of like, okay, I'm going to clean my brush. I like seeing how long I can make one paper towel last. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with like kind of a wet a little bit just to kind of loosen up this edge. A little wetter. So I don't want it so, you know, I wanted that dark, but now I want to like kind of loosen up the edging. So kind of, you know, and then I can use some of that dark to go in. So watercolors is a lot about like doing stuff with the paint and then just using a wet brush and pulling the paint that you were using. So see how I'm like kind of pulling this over and it's making this new kind of color just by using water. Clean my brush, get some of that black off. Nice, clean, watery brush again. And I'm going to pull this in kind of like so. I feel a little time crunch now that it's like 15 minutes. Like, oh, like Danielle, keep moving. Okay. We're doing good. Try some space stuff, guys. A lot of people have been tagging me and DMing me the stuff you're doing. I'm going to add a little blue. I feel like I want to add a little blue into this. I'm doing this like really like pretty. Oh, you can't see it on the brush. But yeah. So when I get these messages of people doing this stuff, like I said this in the last video too, it just really makes my day. Keep doing it. It just makes me feel so good to know I'm like inspiring people. I don't know. I put my art away for a long time. I had my daughter at like 21. I just like focused on like making money, getting by, feeding her and me, that I like didn't do art for so long. And then after I had the twins, I was like, they had to nap all the time. And I was like, oh, what do I do that's quiet? And then I picked up the watercolors again. And like it's been a major part of my life for the last 3 years and I will never stop. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, let's keep moving. So now we're going white and we're going to do like some paint splatters for stars. This palette was I was out of white, like the solid. So I squeezed in some from here. So it's going to look a little like loose, but I'm going to move that and just kind of, because I don't want too much. Grab a little water. Okay, you kind of want like not too watery, but not too thick, because we're going to splatter this baby and make some stars. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm going to let it dry just a minute here. And then I got really like thick stars, so now I want some little ones, so I'm going to go down to a smaller brush and just use this guy. And there should be enough right in here. That's all I need. And if your globs are like too big, then you have too much water, and then you just gotta like add a little more paint and make it like not so watery, so that when you hit the brush, it's not like these huge pieces. We just want a whole bunch of little guys. Ow, got those big ones in there. It's hard to splatter with this camera in the way. I'm like awkwardly doing this. Splatter, splatter, splatter. Lots of stars shining for me. Do 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 do. Keep going. Oh, a little harder. There we go. So you want different sizes. So I'm going a little more paint, a little less water, so it doesn't. I'm getting more of that little tiny paint, so it's making little tiny stars. Cool. This is so good. Okay, I'm gonna use a little white in this tiny, tiny brush. And I'm going to draw a couple like, you know, I don't know what you would call these, like, you know, something like this. Like a really shining, maybe like North Star. Or like a super bright star. You could do a shooting star. You could add like a thing to it. So add a couple of these guys. You could add like a... Oh, I'm just the worst. I have no right filming the way I talk. You know, like a star sign, like it's like, oh, the Big Dipper, and like you can kind of like do that. I'm not going to add it to this one, but you could definitely add like that where it looks like a little whatever. All right. So I'm feeling good about this. What do you guys think? Fun, right? I feel like you'd pop out a bunch of these different colors. You do one that's like oranges and pinks and reds, and then the black, or, you know, yellow and red. And so it'd be cool to have a paper and do like maybe 6 of them, 3 here, or 2, 4, 6, and each one kind of a different color. I hope you guys had fun with this one, kind of learned something, and I'm really hoping you guys are realizing how easy watercolors are. Like, I'm no pro, I'm self-taught, I never went to school for art. I just do my thing, move my paint around. So if you want to get a little more technical and learn a little bit more, I'm sure there's some awesome people online that you can find. But for just some fun, chill, kind of no rules kind of gal, then I'm the one for you. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you guys back here very soon. I'm like loving this. I feel like I'm like gonna keep just popping these out. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.